This is our day 7 on Selenium, Java, Cucumber CI course. And today we will see how to call a code which is, let's say, repetitive or which is like common code. Common code for more than one test case. Right? So there is one test case where we want to do a login. There is another test case. There also you want to do login with some other parameters. So that's a very practical issue, that there are more than one test case where you want to do a login with different parameters. First login you want to do with valid user ID password maybe. Second, you want to log in with some other kind of user ID password. Okay. Second thing is we'll check how to check whether a page is the expected page. So there is no straightforward way to check it. We'll talk about how we can check a particular page is the expected page which we want to check. Then we'll talk about how to capture the text present in the alert. Okay. Then we'll check what is TestNG, why it is required, and the annotation. So I have your assignment with me. So first assignment, I'm checking which Venkat have put. So I am closing all other things and going to our package source. Here I'm making a package so that all the assignment I will check from here only. So I'm making a package, and let's say I'll give it name as assignment only. Okay, and here I will put the whole code as it is. So I'll make actually your assignment. So going forward, let's understand that you have to also create one package assignment in a small case, and you have to put the whole Java code. You have to upload the exact Java code to that location, so that I'll just copy paste the whole code and I'll check into the system, right? So as of now, I said last time that create the class name as same name as what you want to put. So for example, here is the Venkat underscore login one. So your class name should also be that one, so that I'll directly copy paste the code here and I'll be able to check it quickly. Otherwise it's taking me time to everything I have to copy and check. So let me do it as of now, but going forward, keep this in mind. Anything. You can use NetBeans, you can use IntelliJ IDEA, whatever IDE you are using, that's fine. But everywhere there is a concept of package and class. So you can use anything, that's perfectly fine. Okay. So I am making a class and I'll paste the whole code which Venkat has provided. That's fine. And I have to change this a little bit. So first thing, what is the mistake we do commonly is never put spaces when you are declaring a folder name. It's not a good practice to make a folder folder name which has spaces in between. Okay, it's not a good practice to make the folder name which has spaces in between. First thing, keep in mind. So as of now, I have my Chrome driver with me, so I can delete this. Then okay, Chrome driver, I have to import WebDriver I have to import. Then it's done. Then by class, it's showing me error, so I'll import it. And thread.sleep will show me to put the throws declaration. Done. So let's run this. This particular test case seems like doing a login only. So yeah, Windows Maxim, once you will open this particular website for the login, and then you are maximizing it, you are printing the title of that page and putting user ID and password, and then doing something on the new page, right? I don't know, but I'll check what you are doing so that we will be able to see what you are doing. And this was just one test case, right? Our expectation or our assignment was actually to create at least 6 test case, to create at least 6 test case around that login page. So I'm repeating again. Whew. I'm repeating that our assignment was, once you click on the login, there are at least 6 test case you can make around this. First thing is, when you provide correct user ID and correct password, what will happen? Second thing is, when I am putting correct user ID, so for example, valid email ID and invalid password, and I will click on the login, then it should show me this message. Another test case. So we are a test engineer, right? So I should not say what should be the scenarios. We are already like doing it manually. So whatever scenario comes to your mind, which you can do on this page, understand this page and make it. So for example, don't have an account, sign up. So once user will click here, right? Whatever is happening, like here, you have to provide a full name and email address. And once you click on the sign up, right, then there will be a pop-up will come, right? Going back. So that is again one test case. Another is when you click on the forward password, and if you don't provide the email in a proper way. So I am putting just test. The email should be @something.com or whatever domain there should be. So if I'm putting a wrong email address, I'm putting test_check, something like this. And if I click on the reset password, it is showing me this message. Please enter an email address. So that is also a test case to check. When you click on the generate password or whatever button is there, if you are not putting the correct email, this message should come. So these mini test cases you can create and many more. So one of the code which one of the candidate has provided is, I am copying all this and I will put it. So I'm not, as of now, I'm not putting here in the Venkats only, I am putting the whole code. Okay. And implicit weight code somebody has put. We will understand what is implicit weight. As of now, I'm just adding it. Done. So this particular code is for invalid email ID and password, and then there will be one error message. So you are printing that error message. Then again, you are putting implicit weight. So let's understand, we have not read about the implicit weight, but let's understand implicit weight. You will not do it again and again. Implicit weight, you have to put just once. When you started your driver, here after, let's say once you have opened the website, implicit weight, you have to put it just once. Okay, you don't have to put it again and again. Then there is some error message, that's fine. So the basic question is, this code is repetitive. This particular 3 line of code irrespective of whatever we are doing, the thing is this particular 3 line of code where putting the user ID and password and clicking on the submit button is common. So it's very simple. So if you have the common code, copy this. So I'm copying this, putting it in a function. So I'm writing here public void login and this 3 line. Now driver is not known to this function because how this login function will get to know what is driver. So to resolve this, let's understand this, guys. This is very important. So what we are going to achieve is, let's say from line number 30, this main function is started. From to 11th line it is started, and main function is end at 76th line, and in between we have 4 different test cases. Okay, 4 different test cases. Let's say this is test case 1. Let me write it, test 1. Okay, and let's say this is test 2, and let's assume that this is test 3. Okay, and so on. There may be multiple test cases. Now the question is, like, first thing is you declare the driver here. So if I want to make this as a function to be called every time, then that function do not know what is driver. So what we can do is we can declare this WebDriver outside the main function is equals to null. Now we made it a kind of like a global variable here, and then you have to delete WebDriver assignment again. So now it's saying WebDriver, sorry, yeah, main function we have declared. So WebDriver driver is equals to null, and driver is equals to new Chrome drivers, and make it static. Okay, so that the current instance of driver will reach to other functions also. So now it's fine. That error has gone. It is able to get the driver because that is declared outside the main function. So that will be accessible to other functions also. Okay. Now, real question is, okay, so I can delete this. I can delete this 3 line, and instead of writing these 3 line, I'll call login. I'll say here login simply. Okay, but the problem again is, if let me make it the static login. Okay, now I can call the login function, but the problem again is, like, you want to put different kind of user ID and password. So what you can do is you can pass this user ID and password. So you want to send this as a first parameter. So copy this and send it to login. Done. Comma. What is your second parameter? Your second parameter is password, and we'll be passing this. Now this line is not required. I am deleting this. Okay. So there is a function who accepts to string and use it. So in the login, we'll capture this. So we'll say string u comma string p. So the u is for username, p is for password, let's say. And now instead of writing driver.findElement by hard coding it, we will say here send keys u. So that will come from the parameter, and sorry, yeah, u and p. Now it's done. So now instead of writing those 3 lines again and again, we will simply call login function. So where exactly you did the same thing again? Here. So we'll call login here. Login in the bracket, these 2 values. So first parameter this one, comma, second parameter, this one, done. And we will delete this 3 line. So number of lines of code is reduced now. And where exactly you did it. So wherever you are doing login, you can simply pass these two things, correct? And you'll be able to do it. Okay. So that is one thing, like how you, and it's a Java concept that you are calling a function with 2 parameters, and then you are like capturing that in one string, second string. And now you're doing send keys U and P. So whatever user ID and password you will pass, this login function, what it will do, it will find driver.find element by this will do, and it will send the user ID and then password, and then clicking on the submit button, something like that. Okay. And this is maximizing is not required again and again. We'll talk about this delete all cookies later on. And login is fine. Implicit wait, actually, if you are using it, you should put it once you open your page. We'll talk about the wait mechanism in some other session. That's in some other class agenda. And you will be doing something. I'm not going into what you are doing as of now. And then there you are, clearing. So clear function. So let's understand this. This is a good thing, what you have written. So when you want to clear out a particular element. So for example, here, let's say yy@yy.com is written, and you want to clear this. Right? So what you should do, driver.find element by whatever this particular element, this text box. And once you find that text box, so here, for example, we have written driver.find element by x path, this dot clear. So dot clear will clear this out, it will delete this, it will clear this particular part. And then, okay, then you were checking maybe something related to an, yeah, sending something. And forgot password dot click, you did. Okay, let's run this. I'm just running it to check if something is working. I'm not going into the code as of now to check. It will take a lot of time to check a particular assignment. But yeah, you are able to log in here, putting user ID and password, and then you are getting this message, and then you have to clear. So you did a clear, and probably putting the email password again. This time you are successful and done. Good. And then you are clicking on the settings to do something. So this is fine. This is fine. Now, so next question was, so this is clear that how you can call a code which is common code for more than one test case. So it's a simple Java functions that you have to create. How to check whether a page is an expected page. So here, for example, that this particular page is the login page. And if I go back, so it's a real example. This particular page is related to forgot password, and the title of this page is login. If I back to the login, this page is related to really doing the login part, and the title of this page is also login. Now, how to identify that both the pages are different pages? So how you identify in the manual way, the same part you have to put it in the automated way. So for example, when we are here at forgot password, the button here is reset password. The button which is present here is the reset password. So this is one of the way to identify this page. When I am on the login page, the button text is login. So I'm giving a hint. I'm not writing exact code as of now. So the hint is how to check whether, so we should check what is unique thing about a particular page and check if that element is present. So the hint is here, the real example is in login page, button text is login, but in forgot password page, the button text is reset password. So you have to check when you are in login, then the button which is visible is login one or not. So how to check a visibility of any element? So I'm writing the code now for that so that it will be clear. So we are doing right click, new class, and we are checking now. There will be different functions. So I'm writing element functions demo. Okay. So I'm copying at least this 3 line to do the login part. Done. Okay. And that driver is outside. That's fine. Okay. So now this is our main function. We want to log into this. Okay. So I was talking about the element level functions. So once I will do login, I'm on the login page. So I'll go back to the login page and I want to check whether this element is displayed or not, or present or not. So I can do right click, inspect, and the code is already written. So I'm not going to finding this element and how to do that. That code is already there. So that part is here. So here I am on the login page. What I can do is web element login btn is equals to driver dot find element by this. Because what find element does is it finds that element and it returns this function. When you are finding an element, it returns that element. So we are capturing it in this element. And then you can say, let's see, you can system.out. So there are functions. So we are talking about the element level functions. So login button is a element dot. So there are different functions. Is displayed. So is displayed is one function which will tell you whether this element is displayed or not. And let's go to another function. So this is displayed will return true or false. Okay. Then there is enabled. So is enabled will tell you whether that element is enabled or not. So there is a difference between enabled and displayed. Enabled means it's like, you know, when something is disabled, the color goes like it's faded, right? When any element is, let's say, what we say, disabled, then that element goes like in a faded way, right? As of now, I do not have example to show right now, but let's understand that is enabled means that particular element is enabled, or right? Okay, and there is another function which is dot is selected. So is selected is when you have drop down, and if there is a radio button, checkbox, those things you can check whether it is selected or not. For button, I don't know whether we should use selected or not, because button is not for the selection. But let's run it. Let's see what it is showing for all these three functions. There are other element level functions also, that also we can check. Just a minute, hold on. So these are the functions, like login button is displayed. So is displayed will tell you whether that element is displayed on the page or not. Is enabled will tell you whether that is enabled or not. Is selected will tell you whether that is selected or not. What else we have? Dot. So clear will clear out the text. So clear function we use for text box generally. Click we use for clicking on the element. So there is no fixed rule that where you should click. Click you can do anywhere. Even in the text box also you can do click. In your button also you can do a click. In the checkbox also you can do a click. Okay. Then get attribute, we will talk about it later on. So get attribute is also one function where you can get the attribute of that, other attributes of that particular element. Get tag name will give you the tag of that element. Okay. Get text will give you the text present on that element. And is displayed we talked, is enabled, is selected. Send keys will send the, you know, send the text which you want to put for that element, and that's it. Okay, so this is about element functions, and I gave an hint that how you can check whether you are on login page or whether you are on forget password page, right? So when you are on forget password page, your login is displayed will tell you false because login button is not present. So particular this element is not present in this page, right? There are other ways also to check whether a particular element is present on the page or not, but this is just a basic example. Okay, what is the next thing we want to do is capturing the alert text. That's a good question. That whenever you get an alert in between your page, how to handle that alert. Okay, for that I'm quickly writing one HTML to automate this. It won't take much time. And you guys also should understand that how the HTML code is written. It's not a big deal. Language, HTML. Okay, inside that we have, let's say, body tag, and then body tag will be end, and inside that, let's say we'll make a button. Input or button also. Button ID is equals to btn1, and we can write on click is equals to, you'll call a function, right? Fun1, something like that. So it's done. This code is done. Let's see whether it is working. So I'll make it, let's say, alert example. I just want to check whether this is working or not. So that is present in our day 7. Okay. So if I see here, there is a button. Okay, it's a very small one, but button is there. So actually, we should put the text of that element. So here you can put the text. Let's say, click me, something like that, and then button will be closed. Button done now. So there is just one button in this page. So let's check whether it's coming now or not. So click me is visible as a button here. If I click, nothing is happening as of now because we have not written the code. So here will be the script. So what we can write here is script, and that script will end, and inside the script we will make a function. So it's very simple. Function, which function? Fun1. Okay, and it has its own code, and that code is simply alert testology. Hi, good evening, something like that. So I saved it, refresh it, click here. I'm able to see one alert, testology, hi, good morning. Now the question is how to capture this text, which is coming into alert box. So this is, so if you are using the word pop-up, we should not use, it's an alert box. We generally use for anything we see out of, the window, whatever you see, the extra thing coming out, we say it as a pop-up, right? So, but pop-up has a lot of varieties. Okay, so this particular thing, we can, technically it is alert box. Okay, fine. So how to handle this? So this is our code, and we want to automate, let's say, to get the alert text. So what we will write, let me make a new class so that it will be a different practice if anybody want to see how to get the alert text. Okay, so I'm writing here alert demo, and we will open this time a particular website. So that website is our HTML page actually. So till this part is fine. So I'm copying the whole thing. So I'm copying this and this part also. But instead of opening a particular website, I want to open, which is present here, alert example.html. So this and alert example.html. Okay, and after that, on that we have a button. So that button is driver.find element by ID. We know it because we made it, right? So that ID is, I forgot what was the ID. ID is btn1. So we are finding that element through ID. Done. And after that, we'll do login button dot click. So we'll write dot click. Here is one it was missing. Done. After that, alert will get open. After that, alert will get open. I'm putting, let's say, 1 second wait. After that, let's say alert will be visible. Once it is visible, we want to get the text of that alert. So the code is alert al is equals to, you have to switch to that alert. So you can write driver dot switch to dot alerts. This code, what it will do is, so driver dot switch to alert. So there is switch to alert function, which will actually return you the alert object. So we are capturing that on alert AL reference. And once you have that AL reference, you can give any name. This name is given by me. So I can give, let's say, my alert, something like this. You can give this name also. So my alert, once you have the control of, so your control of your alert is with my alert reference now. So you can say my alert dot, so there are various functions you can do. Except, so what except will do is, in real, is once you click here, there is a OK button, right? So if you want to click on the OK button, that is called except. Okay, what else you can do? My alert dot dismiss. So sometimes there is a OK and cancel, both kind of button. So dismiss will do the cancel. Get text. See here, there is a function get text. So that is what we want. So get text will give you the text of that alert. So I'm writing, let's say, string msg is equals to this, and let's print it. So we want to print this msg. Now let's run this. So this is running. Yes, it has clicked on that. Everything is done very fast. And we want to check whether it has printed the message or not. So if you see here, it is able to print testology, hi, good evening. How it has come? Because we have written my alert dot get text. Okay. And after you get the text, what you can do is my alert dot accept, so that alert box will get closed. Why it is important to close this alert box? Because once the alert box is coming, you have to somehow handle it. Otherwise, you will not be able to find. So this is going on faded way. The background is not enabled now. This part is only enabled. So you have to click on OK, then only you will be able to do anything further on this. So this is how we handle alert. There are other examples for alert also. Wait for it. We have this in our syllabus, okay? But somebody asked, that's why we are covering it today, so that you will not be blocked on writing anything. Okay, so our next agenda today is to understand about TestNG. So I'm going back to that example where we want to create multiple test cases. So if you see one of our example, let's say here we have number of lines, and then let's say there are 50 test cases, right? So how you will handle it? It will be very difficult to put our test cases in sequential way, and it will be difficult to find out what kind of test case is present, right? Where the failure is occurring. It's very difficult. Only the person who has written the code, he or she will be able to understand. Otherwise, for other people to guess what is happening here, what kind of test case we are checking, it's very difficult. So to resolve this, there is a unit test framework called TestNG. And let's understand. Selenium is nothing to do with the TestNG. Okay. Even if you are not using Selenium, you can use TestNG framework. So TestNG framework helps you to put the function in a way that it will look like a test case. Okay, let me repeat. TestNG provides you a way that you write some functions and that will become the test case. And there are other advantages also, that you can have different kind of other functions related to your core test cases, right? Related to prerequisite, what you want to do after finishing your test case, right? So there are some related things. Okay. So TestNG is a unit test framework actually. So it's same as JUnit. So if you heard about JUnit, right? So now the advanced way of, so JUnit is separate. Still people are using it. TestNG is little bit advanced, and there is a difference between JUnit and TestNG also. That's a favorite interview question that we will cover. But today let's understand what is the problem. The problem is there are number of lines of code and it is difficult to maintain this test cases on a single file, right? It's not in a maintainable way. So what we can do is you can add one jar, TestNG jar, and then you can work. So for example, so let's understand how to add TestNG jar. Simply go and search here Maven repos. Okay, just search in Google Maven repos. So there is a one website called mbnrepository.com. So this is the way you, if you want to search any jar, right? It's a good way. Here you will get the jars also, and there are dependency also. When you, if you are working on the Mavenize project, then you can get the whole dependency code also. But as of now, our purpose is to find jar. So if here I will write TestNG. So here you can search any of the jar. So here when I write TestNG, it is giving me org.testng. Yes, this is what we want. And the latest TestNG is 7.3.0. I do not know whether it is stable or not, whether it is compatible with my Java version or not. I do not know as of now. I am just taking it. So when you click on this, see here, you are able to have jar 900 KB files. I am here where my mouse is. And this is where you are able to see ambient-repository.com dependency. That's a different thing. When we will develop page object model based framework, we will understand about it. As of now, we need a jar. So this jar, if I click, this will download me a jar. I'm saving it. That will be on my download folder now, probably. Yes. So I am copying it and put it properly. So all my jars are present at C drive Selenium jars. Here I am putting this jar, and we have to link this jar to our project. So same thing, right click on the project, properties, Java build path, and add external jar. And our external jar is TestNG 7.3.0. Apply and close. Done. So you have added the jar. That means you can use the functions, the library functions, which is for TestNG now. So today we have just 5 to 6 minutes now. So let's understand a very simple code and how it looks like. So I'm going here, making a new. Now we'll do it in the Selenium practice itself. Right click here and making a class TestNG demo1. Done. So in TestNG, there is no main function. You don't have to write main function. Okay, you can simply write a code. So I'm just copying this alert code itself as a test case. Okay, so let me copy this. How to create a test case? It's like @test you have to write. @test. Okay, so this is called annotation. Okay? And here you have to give a function name. So I'm writing here my function name is verify alert text. Let's say that is my test case, and here is my code to do the whole thing. And see, it's very simple to what we did. Only difference is instead of writing that in a main function, this time we are putting it in a function, another function, not the main one. So this is the simplest test case we are creating today is, so this particular class TestNG demo1 we created, and the same code like this alert text, right? We are doing, and let's run this. I'm running it. Run as run configuration. So here now it is saying me that it's not a Java application. If it is a Java application, there should be a main function. That's why it is not showing me how to run this, right? Or I have to find out in what way I want to run this particular class. Okay. So there is a JUnit way. So we want to run it in TestNG way. So what you have to do is you have to go to your project again, right click, properties, and in the libraries, you should say add library. And in add library, there will be TestNG library. I'm not able to see in my system, right? So if you are not able to see, you should add it. So what you can do is help and Eclipse Marketplace. Here, you can add any library related to the context. So here, if I search TestNG, it should give me, let's wait, no. So this infinity test, no, it's not TestNG. So TestNG library we want to add, it's not showing me. Another way is you should go to the TestNG official website, and there it will give. So TestNG's official website is testng.org, and here if you click here in the Eclipse, so there is a way how to install the plugin. See here, it's saying that since TestNG Eclipse plugin 6.9.10, there is a new optional plugin in M2E Maven Eclipse plugin integration. So I'm not able to see as of now. So here you can do it like this. It is saying, so there's a particular way to add the TestNG library to your project. Okay. Fine, that's fine. Okay, but if you want to add it in a proper way, there should be a way here. I'm searching that. I'm going to the download. This is one way, this is one way. This one is if you want to install it from the website. Okay, so I'm copying this. This is required. So I'm copying this and going to the Eclipse again, help. Here is install new software. And here you can say add. What we want to add? We want to add TestNG. And what is the location? The location is this. From here, we want to add the TestNG. It's like this. And if I click on add, it is doing something here, and it will show me here the TestNG library. I'm going back and checking whether we are doing in the right way or not. So Eclipse Marketplace, so it's saying in the Eclipse Marketplace also, this is visible. I don't know for my Eclipse why it was not showing. So see here in their website, official website, they said that go to TestNG page of Eclipse Marketplace, and then you should just click on the install and it will work. We'll try that way also. We will try that way also, but it takes some time. It takes, so what it is doing in between is it is going to that particular website server to get the TestNG library.